When you are successful at helping a client experience that loss of self, it's like, what kind of response do you see from the client at that moment? That's a very pivotal moment in their process.
It's the waking up. It's becoming
Yes.
conscious. It's like, I have a program called Wake Up Recovery, and that's why I called it that, because it's about waking up.
That's perfect.
When I left my alcoholic, I was just disassociated. And so once I removed myself from that situation, because it became so toxic for me, I was like awake, like, oh my God, I've been like tunnel vision for so long. And now I'm like alive. So it's remarkable. It's incredible. It's like all of a sudden you hear birds chirp, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I think that's where it begins. And once you do that, really the only way out is through consciousness, awareness, and diving deep into these early trauma vortexes, and then doing it in a way with somebody that can help you embody yourself.
Well, Alan, I don't know anybody, when she's describing that, I don't know anybody who ever witnessed work does what she's describing better than you, in terms of just joining with somebody and just tracking with them. Just go, the idea of going with the client, not leading the client, but going with the client.
Yeah, that's a great description. Is that Gestalt therapy? I don't.
You're describing it. Well, it's very interesting. Gestalt therapy. Fritz Perls had a very unique experience. He and his wife Laura, they were part of that early psychoanalytic group, and in that psychoanalytic group, you had Wilhelm Reich, which was the father of all these body therapies. Right? Reichian therapy was the beginning of bioenergetics in the United States. And all the variations off of bioenergetics, even Peter Levine's work, his somatic processing is connected to Lowen's work. I can see all kinds of connections when I see Peter Levine work in terms of what we're doing. And so the body, you're right. In cognitive behavioral therapy, you won't see it integrated in the same way you might see it integrated with like a Gestalt therapist or a body-oriented therapist. We don't have many pure body-oriented therapists around anymore, do we? That was the thing of the past. In the 70s, they were all over the place. You could go down on Santa Monica Boulevard and you walk into an office and it was padded all the way around because people were laying on the floor doing the pounding. And it's stuff. Remember the Bataka bats too?
Yeah.
Bats that we had on the tennis rackets on the pillow. All of that stuff of engaging people at that level that you were talking about of their experience is so important, because like you said, if you don't have a self, one way to introduce yourself is to start paying attention to your somatic experiences.
Right. That's why I love Peter Levine's work, and that's what I use with clients. And, it's not quite where you're, banging on a pillow and doing that. It's more slow. And a lot of people can't get so uncomfortable doing it because it is so slow. It's like asking someone to just be. That's like the hardest thing you can ask someone. So a lot of people don't stick with it, but if you stick with it, and I know this personally and professionally, it's a life changer. It really is.